Ah, ooh. Ah, ooh. Ah, ooh. Ah, ooh. Take me home today. Take me out to play. Take me back into that sweet
Morning everyone, and welcome to a Universal day. So we're going to Universal Studios today. I'm very excited for this. It's been a minute since we've been to Universal. I didn't go on the last trip. I obviously haven't been since before the pandemic, and I'm very excited to get back to my beloved Wizarding World. I absolutely love all of the Harry Potter stuff at Universal. I know you guys do too. I'm in full Ravenclaw today. On that note, I did do my outfit of the day, so I will quickly insert that now. And today I have my house colours on since we're going to Universal. So I've got my little Ravenclaw headband. My mum made this for me, and she also made me a matching mask. Then I have this t-shirt from Etsy. I will link it if I can still find it. This denim jacket from New Look, and these denim shorts are from Next. And the best part about this outfit is the golden snitch backpack. This was from Primark a really long time ago. You can't still get it, but it is really awesome. I love taking this to Universal. And we're just off to get ourselves an Uber. That's always the quickest way to get to Universal. I always find it the easiest. And today is Patreon Park Day as well. So you guys over on Patreon have decided where we're eating, what snacks we're having, what attraction to do first, all of that kind of thing. And as you can see as well, probably, the weather today is a lot better than yesterday.
20 minutes later.
Hey, here we are. And when you get dropped off at Universal, you will be on the top level of the parking lot. They have this whole Uber section, so this is where you come to, and you just need to get the escalator down. And the rideshare section is in the Jurassic Park area, so if you're coming back at the end of the day, that's where you need to head to and go all the way to the top. And we're arriving a little later than normal, so I don't know whether there'll be a queue here at security. Let's see. It can be absolutely slammed around here in the morning, but it doesn't look too bad. And first things first, you know where we're going. I didn't even have a coffee in the room this morning, so I definitely need this before I can get going. And I've just come into the Starbucks here, and they have some different mugs. They've got a Universal kind of insulated mug here, and the Bean There mugs as well. They've got the Universal one if you're collecting those. And this one I haven't seen before. It's like an iridescent Starbucks kind of tumbler thing. Okay, I've got my coffee, and this one is just a basic straight up caffeine coffee. You guys have actually chosen a coffee for me, but I'm gonna get that in the park later. This is just to get me woken up and going for the day, because you know I need that. And I think I also need to go to the ticket window, because I will explain later the situation I had with my annual pass and my ticket, but I'll get to that when I get into the park. Let's just get ourselves in and get our day started here at Universal Studios. And I don't think this huge Universal Studios store was here last time, so perhaps we'll take a look at that later. We will also be taking a look at this Voodoo Donut. Yes, absolutely, we'll be going there. I'll probably get something on the way out and take it back to Saratoga Springs with me, because I don't think I'll have time to actually eat it today, but it's so good, you absolutely cannot miss Voodoo Donut.
Vaccination status. Thank you for your cooperation and enjoy your day.
Ooh, they have a strict British lady here as well, making the mask announcements. We've decided that perhaps the British accent is a little more stern, and maybe people listen to it. That's maybe why they have a British accent at both Disney and Universal, telling people to wear their mask. And Mardi Gras has begun here at Universal, so it started on February 5th, which was just a few days ago, and it goes all the way through to April 24th. And they have parades and stuff going on, so perhaps we'll see some of that today. So let's just get this ticket situation sorted out. She said we actually need guest services, which I am looking for. She said it's under a blue awning. I might need to ask somebody, maybe it's over here. Aha, blue awning, that's what we want. Unfortunately, there is more of a line here, but oh well, it's got to be done.
One eternity later.
Okay, we are all sorted. The line was kind of horrible. That did take quite a long time, but I have to say the guest services, the person I spoke to was amazing. They sorted out my ticket issue, which I will let you know about later. But yes, thumbs up to Universal's guest services experience. So now let's get ourselves into the park and start having some fun. Okay, here we are with our first look at Universal Studios for what feels like a really long time. And we're going to head straight over to the Wizarding World. And we also have Beetlejuice over there outside the horror makeup show, doing a kind of socially distanced meet and greet. You can kind of go up to him, but not too close. And they do have a crepe stand here, Central Park Crepes. I've heard really good things about that. We're probably not going to do that today because we obviously have other dining plans. And this kiosk is very pretty that's popped up. I'm guessing this is something to do with Mardi Gras. But that's awesome, I love that. So this looks like it is curry type of stuff. So they've got a vindaloo, masala, samosas and stuff, but how awesome does this look? And in terms of crowds, this is the busiest I've seen the rest of the park in quite a long time. So I was here in 2019, but I haven't seen it this busy for quite a number of years. Obviously we've had the pandemic in between that, but even prior to the pandemic, this is definitely a lot more crowded. I'm not quite sure what we're going to be in for when we get to Diagon Alley. It could be kind of crazy. I'm really hoping they've got single rider for the Gringotts attraction. We will see. I can't remember if they do or they don't. And I always say this, but I have such nostalgia for this park because I always used to come here to Universal a lot more than I ever went to Disney in my earlier trips. So I would say the first 3 or 4 trips, like 2002, 2004, 2005, definitely I was always here more. So whenever I come back, it really gives me that kind of nostalgia vibe, because a lot of this hasn't changed an awful lot. Obviously adding on all the Harry Potter stuff is quite different. This used to be where they had the Jaws attraction, RIP, because I loved that. But of course I am happy with the replacement because the Wizarding World is amazing. And if you're from the UK and you're missing a good old jacket potato, they do have them here. And there's the music. I love this so much. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so I always love being here. Okay, let's head in and see what kind of crowds we're in for today. So as you can see, it is pretty crowded, more so than it has been on previous trips. We're going to get straight in line here for Leaky Cauldron because I feel like this is going to be a bit of a wait today. This is one of the few places I've seen where they have kind of plastic versions of the food so you can see it. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like that's kind of strange, but anyway, we'll take a proper look at the menu in a second. The menu is definitely British type food. We've got fish and chips, toad in the hole, cottage pie, fisherman's pie, ploughman's, bangers and mash, beef, lamb and Guinness stew, a pie combination and soup and salad. They do have a dessert called Cranachan. Should I know what that is? Because I don't. And I don't know what to get. I think I'm probably going to get the toad in the hole. It also says on this little mini sign here that they have Scotch eggs, so I don't know if that's the case. I didn't see that on the main menu. And the detail in here is very, very cool. All the theming in the Wizarding World is absolutely amazing. Okay, we are headed to station number 1. I love how they have the bar kind of set up behind here. They have all the barrels and stuff. It looks awesome. Anyway, we are here at the Leaky Cauldron and we are seated. I have got a frozen butterbeer for my drink. And I just wanted to mention one thing that I think is amazing here is how it works in this quick service. Because this is a quick service, it's not a table service, but Universal have this down perfectly to make sure that it is not a stressful experience. So you saw that the line was pretty long, but even then you are sent to a certain station to order your food and then they seat you as well. So you don't have to panic about finding a table when it's this busy, because normally in quick service, especially when I'm by myself, one of the things I worry about is ordering food and then not being able to find a seat, which is really, really stressful, especially when you're by yourself, or if you just can't find one. But the way they do things here, they give you this candlestick. So you have your number and then they will seat you and your food is brought out to you. So thumbs up to Universal for having this working like a well-oiled machine. And on the table they have all the cutlery and sauces and all that kind of thing, so you don't have to go looking for that either. So this really, really is great the way they do this. And we are actually seated right by the Leaky Cauldron itself, which I love. And like I was saying, this whole place is so well themed. I would definitely say take some time to look up, look around. It really, really is awesome. And the frozen butterbeer is of course amazing as always. I much prefer the frozen version, but you can get a regular version if you prefer that. Okay, the food has arrived. I went for the toad in the hole and I was kind of worried that I wasn't going to like it. Toad in the hole is one of my favourite things at home when I make it, or when my mum makes it. Maybe sometimes when I go to a restaurant, but I was just really concerned that I wouldn't like it. So I did also get something else just in case. This is what it looks like. It doesn't look the same as what I would normally make at home, but we're going to get into it and give it a try. But I did also get a kids meal just as a backup in case I didn't like it. And I also wanted to show you how big the kids meal is. So this is obviously like an adult one. And then this is the kids' mac and cheese, and it came with fries. Obviously I don't need all of this, but I was just a little bit concerned about not liking it, and I am quite hungry, so I thought I would get both, and then you can see the size of a children's meal, which actually is really quite big. That is quite a lot of food for a child, I would say. So yeah, let's get into this and see what it's like. Okay, here is my verdict on the food, and you know that I will give you the real story. So I'm going to start with the positives. I always like to start with the positive. It tasted a lot better than it looked. When it came out, I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to like this, but actually the taste of it was good. I was mostly worried that I wouldn't like the sausage, because sometimes over here when I've ordered that, it's not really my thing, but it actually did taste pretty much like you would expect from Toad in the Hole back in the UK, so that was good. So negatives, it was quite cold. I would say it was like lukewarm. The texture of the Yorkshire pudding was super weird. It was very spongy. When I make Toad in the Hole, I always like it to be like light and crispy with the Yorkshire pudding. It wasn't like that at all. It was like dense and spongy, so that was a little bit weird. And the peas, I could not even eat the peas at all, because they had that weird yellowy tinge, which if you're from the UK, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you have peas that have come out of a can, I cannot eat tinned peas. They remind me of school dinners, and I was just like, no, I can't do that. But the gravy was quite nice as well. That tasted pretty much as you would expect, so it wasn't too bad, but it was quite cold. That could be quite common though with quick service restaurants, because of the volume of these things that they're making. I have noticed that quite a lot. Usually at quick service restaurants, the food is not that hot. That doesn't really bother me, but I know some people really don't like that. So just be aware when you're eating at quick service that that could be the case, but it wasn't bad. I was pleasantly surprised with the taste, I have to say. But yeah, it was just a weird texture for Toad in the Hole that I'm used to. Oh, and I should also mention the mac and cheese that came with the fries. It was just exactly as I would have expected. The fries were more like potato wedges, but it was nice, enjoyable. If you're a very plain eater, you would be fine eating that. There was nothing I could say about it one way or the other, good or bad. It was just exactly as expected. Okay, I'm gonna take my butterbeer to go and get a shimmy on, because there are a lot of people waiting for tables and I don't want to hold a table, so I'm gonna go and have this outside. We have a little sign here to all guests and patrons: when leaving these premises after the witching hour, please leave quietly via the right hand side door, or please leave loudly via the left hand side door, or please don't leave at all. But here's one last look at everything. They do have some moving portraits around as well that I noticed, but it's definitely well worth coming in here. And we've just come out to lots of crowds out here, which always happens because everyone is waiting for the dragon to do its thing. I've got a million different shots of the dragon doing that, so we're gonna just carry on walking around, but we might catch him later on. And I really do just love all the details here, like on the outside of the stores as well as inside. It's just been so well done. There goes the dragon. I hope people got their photos. One thing I was also thinking about doing today is buying a wand. I've never ever bought a wand from the Wizarding World, and I would really, really like to. I feel like it's the ultimate souvenir from here, so that might be something that we do a bit later on. They have Globus Mundi here, which is the travel agents, which is a merchandise store, and all of the little stores do have some of the same things, but some different items that kind of themed to that particular place. Okay, the store I could not remember the name of is the Magical Menagerie, and there is not a single person in here. This is what I mean about the crowds. It is absolutely slammed outside, and then there is no one in this store. It's so weird. But let's see what we have in here. Oh, this is scary. Not a fan of that. Oh, I love this guy. Look at him. Oh my gosh. This is a bow truckle, I think, right? And I believe this is called a pygmy puff, I want to say. They have slippers too, which is pretty cool. Oh my gosh, they have a dressing gown as well. And the Niffler t-shirt. This is from Fantastic Beasts. And here is the bow truckle in a bendy format. I actually have one of these. I think I got it from the Warner Brothers tour. Is that where I bought it? I definitely bought this somewhere. I have this. And there are a few people in here now. I think I just caught it at a weird moment, but definitely the stores are not super crowded, or this one isn't anyway. And again, with these stores in the Wizarding World, always look up, because there are so many details to be seen. But a lot of them are very high up, so you do need to look up. One thing that's definitely required after my Toad in the Hole is some dessert, and the only place to do that is Florian Fortescue's ice cream parlour. So we're going to go in here, and see if we can get some ice cream. So here is a look at the menu. They have soft serve ice cream and also hard pack ice cream. I always get the strawberry and peanut butter and the apple crumble with the shortbread sprinkles. Always my favourite. And they do also have butterbeer ice cream, which I've heard is very nice. And they have sundaes and stuff too. It's always really good here. Thank you. So I'm in my usual little spot. Normally there's a bench behind me. They've actually moved the bench forward a little bit and there's nowhere to sit at the moment, but I still like to come in here. There's a little bit of a respite from the crowds. This hidden little corner. I have my Florian Fortescue's ice cream, so I'm going to have this and just have a little break here for a second. This ice cream is so good. I always forget how amazing it is. It's really creamy and just delicious. Definitely try this. And we are being watched in a very creepy way while we're eating our ice cream. And when I asked on Patreon which of the stores in Universal you wanted an in-depth look at, the one that was voted was Wiseacre's Wizarding Equipment. So we're going to go in here and have a proper look around. And as soon as we walk in here, we can see some of the house jerseys, or like sweatshirts, I guess. Slytherin and Gryffindor. We also have hats. And then we have Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw. And these are $65. And if you want merch which is not specific to a particular house, they have shirts and things that have all of them on, the Hogwarts crest. This one's really nice. They also have a hoodie. And they have mugs with the crest on as well. This is very cool. This is $21. And they have a little baby version. How cute. And they have these big thermal mugs. Are these Tervis brand? No, I don't think so. They are $32, but I do really like the kind of grip on the outside, and then it has the house crest on. Gloves and hats, which definitely will have come in useful over the last couple of weeks. I haven't seen this one before. This is very cool, and I like that it has a V-neck on it. That one is $35. They have scarves as well. These are really nice. Here's the Ravenclaw one, which is my Hogwarts house. $40. You can get yourself a butterbeer shirt if you particularly enjoyed it. $35 for that one. I really like these sweaters. They almost remind me of like Letterman jacket style, but it is actually a sweater. This is a kid's one. And they also have this butterbeer mug, which looks like a barrel. That is $25. And they have a bag here. The little plaque on it looks like the London to Hogwarts ticket. And then the front of it is like the ticket as well. And they also have a purse or a wallet. That's very cool actually. I think I like the wallet better. And that is $30. And as I was saying in the other stores, be sure to look up in here because it's so impressive. The detail on the ceiling in this store is absolutely amazing. And all the way around the top here. And they have Dobby. See what he does. Oh my, his face move. Oh my goodness, I was not expecting him to make facial expressions. Let's see if we can see this a little better. I'm not sure if I'm creeped out by this or not. I mean, I love Dobby. I definitely don't find him creepy, but he's $45. I mean, if you love Dobby, this is very cool. His little face really moves. That is kind of impressive. I would have thought that would have been more expensive than $45, I have to say. They have some more Dobby figurines and things over here. They have the egg from the Goblet of Fire competition. Tri-Wizard tournament, I should say. And they do have a Free the House Elves mug. And at the back of the store, they have this stationery section, which I always really appreciate. You can buy a quill, notebooks and stuff. This is really awesome. They have a howler, so it's like a pop-up card and you can put a sound effect in it, so you can actually send this to somebody and record your message. I think that is really cool, and that is $18.95. So if you know a Harry Potter fan, I think they would love that as like a birthday card or something. You can also get a notebook, which is Furry, the Monster Book of Monsters. That's pretty awesome. And they have the Ministry of Magic memos, so you can write your message, fold it, seal it and fly it. And you can get a passport holder, which is the London to Hogwarts kind of ticket. Is it a passport holder? Yeah, I think you put your passport in there and then you can put cards and stuff in the other side. Do you like that? And that is $28. They do have these drawstring bags as well with the Hogwarts houses on, which are $28. These can be quite good for going around the parks actually. They hold quite a lot, but they're quite lightweight. And they have the Gryffindor one too. And they do have some Hogwarts Railway items as well. So they've got a 9 3/4 shirt, which is $37. They have this general kind of Hogwarts hoodie. This is actually pretty nice. That's $67. That's kind of pricey. And they do also have reusable bags here as well, similar to the ones they have at Disney. The lighting is not great, so you can't really see it. There we go. So I might have to purchase something just to get this bag because I have all of the Disney ones, and the theming really continues over here. I think this is where you can get some butterbeer, I want to say. I think it's like drinks and stuff. I think you can get butterbeer here. And I'm sure most of you know this, but you can get the interactive wands, which interact with certain things around this area. So as you can see, someone is doing some magic here. And when you interact with it, it will do something, either squirt water or move or something like that. And there's usually a cast member there helping people out with doing that if you're not sure how to do it. And you can purchase the interactive wands here. I'm going to be looking at wands in a bit. And let's head into Sugar Plums to have a little look around. They always have stuff in here that would be pretty good for souvenirs. So they have a Sugar Quill lollipop. They have jelly slugs. That does not sound appetizing at all. They have the Bertie Bott's Every Flavour beans, which are very famous from the movie. These are $13. But beware, some of the flavours are absolutely disgusting. And they have them here in some fancier packaging too. Or maybe peppermint toads or fudge flies. I think all of these things would make really good souvenirs if you're looking for things to take home for people who love Harry Potter. And all of these stores connect up, so you can come through here into Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, I believe this store is called. And there used to be this little unicycle thing that went across the top here with Umbridge on it. But it has gone, so I don't know why that's gone, but that's just recently been taken away as I understand it. And in this particular store you can buy one of the skiving snack boxes. So this is kind of showing you what it looks like. And again, if you can get this home, this is a really great gift, I feel like. I don't know how much they are, let's see if we can find out. They are $39.95, so that is kind of pricey. But again, you know, these novelty kind of items are expensive. And if you wanted to get like smaller versions, you don't want to get the whole skiving snack box thing, you can get like the puking pastels or the fever fudge. So that'd be quite a cute gift as well if you didn't want to buy the whole thing. And they have this specific shirt for Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, and that is $38. It's very bright. And they do have some face masks in here. This is the first time I've seen face masks in the Wizarding World. They've got Bertie Bott's Every Flavour beans. They have this design and this stripy one, and they are an undisclosed amount. It doesn't say how much they are. And let's go and visit our friend at the Mirror. We love to visit the Mirror. It does seem to have settled down a little bit out here as well. It's not nearly as busy, so that's good. And this store is where you would buy your robes. For those interested in these, I believe they're $139 for your Hogwarts robes, which, say it with me, is kind of pricey.
Might be best to rethink that colour combination.
How dare you? Okay, we're not speaking to her again for the rest of the day. And they have this shirt here, which is kind of like a sporty kind of shirt. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. That's actually kind of neat. I haven't seen that before. And this is $37. I thought that might have been more expensive than that actually. And they also have these Hogwarts alumni shirts, which are $37. And they have other items as well in this. They have a frame and a mug. And for anyone who is in love with Hermione's dress from the scene in the Goblet of Fire, you can in fact buy yourself a replica of that dress here, which is $99.95. And again, like I've been saying, although it seems very busy in the park today, the stores in the Wizarding World are really not that bad at all. I mean, there's hardly anybody in here. They do also have some bags here. They're like...
Here, you look amazing.
Well, you have changed your tune, haven't you? Thank you, though. As I was saying, they have these little mini backpacks in here with the crests on for all the different houses. And these are $65. So we're heading across the street now to check out the wand store. And they have all the different wands here kind of stacked up as they are in the wand shop in the movie. And on the edge of all the boxes it will tell you whose wand it is. So we have Albus Dumbledore here. Nicholas Flamel is this one. Then we have Voldemort here. And again, looking up to the ceiling, you can see lots of details in here. I love how they have this store laid out with all of the boxes, just like in the movie. So I did have a look at one. Oh, hang on, still got the mask on. I did have a look at the wands, and I'm undecided whether I want to get one or not. So I'm going to think about it. I'm going to head out of here just temporarily. I'm going to be coming back and going across to Hogsmeade on the Hogwarts Express if it's working and all of that kind of thing. But we need to just take a break from here because this area is a little intense right now. There is currently a 60-minute wait here at King's Cross for the Hogwarts Express, so we're not going to do that right now. I think I'm just going to get myself a little drink and have a little sit down, take a little breather for a bit, and then continue on. So let's find somewhere where we can take a seat, perhaps in the shade would be quite nice. And this is a very nice relaxed area of the park. There's been quite loud music everywhere and big crowds and everything, but walking along here, this feels quite nice. I was thinking about riding Transformers, but it would appear to be down at the moment. I think there's no wait time, it just says delay, and there are lots of people outside, I think, ready to tell people that it is currently not operating. And it has been the longest time since I've been in Mel's Drive-In. I don't think I've been in here since possibly 2005 or something like that, so maybe we'll go and grab our drink in here and see what is going on. And for those of you who may not know, this Mel's Drive-In is from the movie American Graffiti, and they do have some of the vehicles outside. So here we are in Mel's Drive-In, just to show you what it looks like. Exactly as you would probably imagine for this type of place. It's not too busy in here at all. It's now like 3 o'clock, so it's past lunchtime. I was hoping to come in here to find a quiet spot to just talk through a few things. One thing I'm discovering, it is literally impossible to find a quiet spot to speak in this park. I wanted to kind of just sit there and tell you a little bit about a few things, and if there isn't music blaring like in quick service restaurants like this, there's music blaring outside. I don't know if I am just getting old and I'm finding like all the loudness so crazy, but I just can't find a quiet corner of the park. But anyway, when I go out to go to Toothsome later, perhaps I'll be able to find somewhere to sit outside of the park. And I got myself just a bottle of water because I felt like I needed to rehydrate. This was $5. I think that is even more expensive than Disney. $5 for a bottle of water. I mean, if ever the phrase kind of pricey comes into play, I think that is it. That is a little bit crazy, as it is just water. But anyway, we've just come out to a little parade going on, which is SpongeBob related, I believe. There are basically fish on roller skates. If you don't watch SpongeBob, this is kind of confusing. And Homer is out over here doing a meet and greet. Again, you can see the little barrier there, but you can get pretty close. Definitely a lot closer for photos than at Disney in the moment. And someone is sat in their fancy car back here. I'm gonna say that this is probably Betty. Let's see as we go past. There she is. Hi! And also we have the Scooby-Doo characters again here, so lots of characters out today. And what used to be the Terminator attraction is now the Bourne Stuntacular. So I don't even know what that is. I have never experienced that before. We might try and do that later if we get a chance. We are going to exit the park for now and head across to Toothsome for our early dinner, but don't worry, we'll be coming back into the park. I think I'm going to try and stay all the way until closing today, because I don't normally do that and we've still got lots to do. So now I've exited the park, I have found myself a little quiet spot. We are here next to Rip Ride Rocket, so I might keep having to stop while the roller coaster goes past if that is noisy. I swear this aversion to loud music and loud noise thing, it's just me getting old and grumpy. I don't know, but I've noticed on this trip it's just so loud everywhere and I'm like, what is going on? I think it's just me getting old. Anyway, I just wanted to mention a few things about Universal since this is my first time back since the pandemic. Obviously we've talked loads about Disney. So in terms of mask wearing, it's the same situation as at Disney. They want you to wear your mask indoors. I would say it's slightly less strictly enforced here. So there were a few times, like when I was in Florian Fortescue's, there were a lot of people without their mask on. They had the mask pulled down and they were like eating their ice cream in the line and stuff, and nobody said anything. However, in some of the stores in the Wizarding World, and also when I was in Mel's Drive-In, having a drink in there, they were telling people to put their masks on properly, so they are enforcing it, but I just feel like not quite as strictly as at Disney. So that was one observation. The thing with my ticket, I can't remember if I already told you about this, but I don't think I did. So what happened basically, they gave me a comp ticket, to make up for the fact that I lost so much of my annual pass during the pandemic. So I don't know how many months of it I lost, but it was quite a lot. And they couldn't do anything about that, but they gave me a 5-day park-to-park ticket to make up for it, which was really nice. And when I picked it up at guest services this morning, I did say to them, was I able to upgrade it to an annual pass? Like, is there any monetary value to it? And they said no, because it's a comp ticket, which I was expecting them to say. So I did say to them, because I'm only doing 1 day on this trip, is there anything I can do about the other 4 days? Because obviously when you start using a ticket, it expires then after like 6 days. And they very kindly gave me a 1-day ticket for today, and she's made a note that I can still then have the 4 days when I come back on another trip. So that was actually really nice of them. They didn't necessarily have to do that, so I was really pleased with their customer service and their guest experience. And the other thing I just wanted to talk about is the crowds. So let's just address that, because I talk about that a lot on the channel, because it's one of the things I get questions about the most. So the 2 things I get asked about the most: weather. People are asking, what's the weather like? Is it hot? Is it cold? What should I be packing? And crowds. So how crowded is it? When should you be traveling? When's the best time to go? And all of that type of thing. And I do answer those questions quite often in the vlogs, but I just wanted to talk about it today because I have been utterly shocked by how busy it was here at Universal Studios today. In all honesty, this is the busiest I've seen it in probably the last 8, maybe 10 years. It literally is that busy. I have never ever known it like this in the last 10 years. And that's fine. We've established on this trip that it is a lot busier than it normally would be. It is definitely not slow season at the moment. But I just wanted to talk about it in general and give some advice on how I feel about the situation with crowds, and advice that I think might be useful to you guys. When you are planning a trip to Orlando, it is a lot of time and money that you are investing in planning the trip, paying for the trip. Often it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, so there really is a lot riding on it, and for that reason these trips can then become a lot of pressure to the person who's planning and who's telling everybody what's going to be happening and arranging what you're doing while you're here. And one thing that I just think is super important is to really manage your expectations when it comes to crowds and wait times and all of that type of thing with the parks. So for example, on this trip I had no idea it was going to be this busy. This is absolutely crazy, but because I have come to expect that there is no longer really a slow season at Disney World. If you go into the trip thinking to yourself, I'm going during slow season, nothing's going to be more than 20 minutes in line and it's going to be really quiet and all that kind of thing, you really are setting yourself up for disappointment, or even worse, feeling really annoyed and it's spoiling things for you. So the main thing I would say is to always expect the unexpected, expect that it may be crowded, expect that there could be longer wait times than you thought, and just have that in your head before you actually go on the trip. Because if you have sort of told yourself that it's going to be slow season and it's going to be quiet and then it isn't, there is a very strong chance that you are going to feel irritated, you're going to feel annoyed, and it can make you feel stressed, it can make you feel like you don't want to be there, like you've wasted your money. So I think it's really important to manage expectations and just know that it is entirely possible when you come out here that you might be facing crowds and stuff like that, and just really bring your patience with you. So if you go into a park knowing, okay, I'm gonna have to stand in line every time I want to get a drink or a coffee or to get on an attraction or to get lunch or whatever it might be, if you know that going in, you don't then instantly feel annoyed when you're constantly queuing for everything. And in terms of it just being busy and crowded when you're walking around, in the Wizarding World in particular, because it is authentic to the movie, the stores are quite small and it can feel very crowded, it can feel like there's a lot of people around you, you maybe feel like you can't look at things properly, you can't get to things to pick them up and look at them. And if you didn't expect that, again, you can end up just thinking, oh my gosh, this is a nightmare. So if you have thought about that ahead of time and just really put your patient hat on in the morning and you know that it could be like that, you should be fine. There will of course be days where either yourself or someone in your party is just not in the mood, or they're finding it too much, or they are getting irritable, whatever it might be. And I would just highly recommend, if that happens, to go back to your resort, maybe go in the pool, go swimming, go and play mini golf, go and do something else, just take a break, recharge, and then you can go back in the parks the next day, again with that expectation expectation that it could be crowded. And I just wanted to bring that up because I do think, having done 22 trips to Orlando now and experienced everything from the kind of crowds I'm experiencing now to opening days of attractions when it's been crazy to trips where there's virtually been no one in the parks, I just think it's a really, really important aspect of your trip. And with this channel, that's something I always really, really strive to do in these vlogs, is give you the best advice I possibly can, give you the real picture of what it's like, give advice that I think is actually really practical and helpful, and hopefully you can build up a picture of what to expect when you then come out here on your vacation to Orlando. You definitely can still have an amazing time on your vacation if it's busy. You just have to have that expectation in place before you come away so that you're prepared, you know what you're going to be getting, and you know what the parks are going to be like when you're here. So I hope that's helpful. I just really wanted to bring that up because today has been the crazy busiest day I have ever seen in Universal, like I said, for a long time. So I thought that was a good time to just mention that. But anyway, we are now going to head across to Toothsome Chocolate Emporium, which is one of my favourite places to eat here at Universal. It's outside of the parks in City Walk, and like I said, we're then going to stay all the way until the end of the evening. Universal Studios closes at 7 this evening, and a few of you have commented that I never seem to stay until the end of the day at Universal, and I quite often don't because I'm usually done. But with it being so busy today, I definitely still have things to do, so hopefully we're going to get to see Diagon Alley in the dark at night time, which is something that we don't normally get to see. So anyway, let's head off to Toothsome Emporium and see what's going on there. And I remember way back in 2002 when I first came here 20 years ago, Toothsome Chocolate Emporium was actually the NBA restaurant, and I've eaten in there a couple of times. It feels like such a long time ago now. I actually bought my first ever Orlando Magic jersey in there, but I do think this is a great replacement. It is a really, really interesting themed restaurant in here. The food is really good, so let's head in and have a look. And as well as the restaurant, they do have a to-go area as well, so you can get milkshakes and sundaes and stuff without having a reservation in the restaurant. So we're just waiting for our table and having a look at the amazing stuff in here. This is incredible. Similar to at the Polynesian Resort, they have chocolate coated bacon, lots of different types. And they have fudge down here as well, which looks so good. And then look at these chocolates. They are extremely impressive and beautiful. They look absolutely amazing. And you can also buy kind of boxed things like this as souvenirs with Toothsome Chocolate Emporium on. Oh yes, I think we need to get this. They have Toothsome Chocolate Emporium coffee, and they have different flavours. This is happening. I've just had a text to say my table is ready, so we'll come and check this out after we're done and definitely pick up some of this. We are seated. That literally took like 3 or 4 minutes for my table to be ready. Obviously it's an earlier time of day, so it's not super busy, but this place is amazing. I'm seated upstairs. I've never been upstairs before. I think I've always been seated downstairs, and they have these screens up with all the kind of steampunk vibe going on. It is very, very awesome in here. Our server did actually just bring us over some paper menus, which is good for the desserts because you have pictures of everything. I don't know that I'm going to get a dessert, to be honest. I've eaten a lot of sweet stuff today. I'm more about eating something savoury, but I will show you the dessert menu because the desserts here are absolutely amazing. One of the best things on the menu here for appetizers is the avocado bruschetta. I love that so much. I think I might have to get that. And I may potentially get that and some truffle fries, I think. The other thing I absolutely love here is this, which is the chicken bourguignon. I always get this and I can highly, highly recommend it. But they honestly have so many things that sound good. They have a gnocchi and a risotto that sounds really nice as well. They have a fettuccine alfredo, shrimp macaroni and cheese. They do burgers. It's really quite a large menu, so you should be able to find something for everybody on this menu. And of course the desserts is one of the main features here at Toothsome Chocolate Emporium. So you have a big range of chocolate-based desserts, of course. Then also they have sundaes and things like that, banana cream pie, apple pie. Everything is just super fancy. They have birthday cake, s'mores dessert, and then of course you have the thing that this place is famous for, and that's the milkshakes. Their milkshakes are outrageously large, but they really are good. If I can fit it in, I will get one just to show you guys because they are awesome. I've had this one before, the confetti shake, and it has an entire piece of cake on top. It's delicious though. They have this cookie jar one that sounds really good. A strawberry cheesecake one, that sounds amazing. They have a vegan pineapple upside down cake, brown sugar, caramel, pineapples, oat milk, that sounds good too. And for my drink, being British, I of course have another cup of tea. What have we got today? Because I was saying in one of the earlier vlogs, you never quite know what you're going to get English tea time black tea, that sounds perfect to me. I think he did forget to bring me some milk though, so I'm gonna have to ask for that in a second. So my food has arrived, and I actually have already had a nibble on these, so there were more of them in here than there are now. These are the truffle fries, and this is the avocado bruschetta. Like I said, it's really delicious. It's kind of like regular bruschetta, but with the avocado. You have crispy onion strings on top. It is so good. And I feel like this is the perfect amount for what I wanted.
Later.
So I was just discussing the dessert with the server. I feel nicely full at the moment, so I am going to leave it on this occasion. But I did notice on the way in, they have a display that actually shows what all of them look like. So before I leave, I will be sure to vlog that so you guys can see what the real thing looks like. And this is what the milkshakes look like. I think these are kind of like fake versions, but if they are, they're very good because they do look completely real. This is the special one, which is the Mardi Gras one. This is the one I was telling you about that I've had before. So as you can see, they are very, very crazy. And I need to get one of these bags because I have all the Disney ones that look like this. So I guess we get the Universal one too. And which of these coffees should we get? We've got chocolate hazelnut cream or cookies and cream. They both sound amazing. They are $16.95, which is kind of pricey. So I'm only going to get one. I think I'm going to go chocolate hazelnut cream, I think. These are whole bean as well, by the way, so you will need a coffee grinder for these. Okay, so we're going to head back into the park now. Even if we only get the Harry Potter Wizarding World stuff done today, it's not really that big of a deal. That's the main thing that I love here at Universal Studios. And when I'm back on the next trip, we can do more of Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure as well. But on this occasion, because it has been pretty busy today, I've just been happy to look around, take it all in, take in the Diagon Alley atmosphere. But I would really like to try and get across on the Hogwarts Express as well, if that's possible. But we haven't got loads of time left, so we'll see how we get on. It looks like people are taking their place already for the Mardi Gras parade. I'm not quite sure what time that takes place, but I would imagine it's quite a while yet, so people obviously like to get a good spot ahead of time. And it looks like things have calmed down a little here at King's Cross, and the Hogwarts Express is now 25 minutes, so that's not too bad. I don't know, in all honesty, if we are going to get time to do that today. It's not the end of the world if we don't. Like I said, we can do it on another trip, and we've done it a bunch of times. I can't vlog it anyway because you're not allowed to, so I can't even really show you what the experience is like. So we're just heading back in to Diagon Alley now, and I just ran into Michelle and her family, so hi to you guys if you're watching. And I was saying with King's Cross, I think I was in the middle of saying it then, the problem with Universal in terms of vlogging, you really can't vlog hardly any of the rides. A lot of the 3D rides, they don't like you vlogging on there, or you can't have cameras on there because there's risk of it like dropping and you losing it and things flying off everywhere. So in terms of actual vlogging in Universal, I feel like most of the time I am just showing you around because it's difficult to ever actually show you the rides because you're not allowed to film them in the same way that you can at Disney. Let's make our way back in here, and it's definitely still busy in here, but nowhere near as bad as it was earlier. It's much easier to move around, so clearly towards the end of the day is a better time to come. Always make sure you stop and look at the details in the windows as well, both here at Diagon Alley and over in Hogsmeade, because they have some awesome little details like this. Okay, let's go and get ourselves on this ride. It is now 20 minutes, so that's gone down significantly from what it said on the board when we were walking back into the park. So 20 minutes is not bad at all.
An hour later.
And since we're at the end of the trip, I guess we should go and consult the goblin on our bank balance. It's probably not looking good, to be honest. And we're heading into Globus Mundi here, which is the travel agency I was talking about earlier. And again, with the detail, just make sure you're always looking up because there's so much to see in these stores. Oh, now that is a very exciting pair of pants. Wow, they're not even leggings, they're actual trousers. These are $55, and this is the same pattern that we saw earlier on the bag and the wallet in the other store. Even if you're not in the market for any merchandise, just come into these stores to look around because they are awesome. If the Wands store is entirely too much for you because it's really busy, they do have this Wands by Gregorovich, I think I'm saying that right, which is another little Wands store just off to the side here. And if we look up at this window, which is Flim Flam's Lanterns, look how beautiful that is when that lights up. That looks so nice. I think it's time to head into Nocturne Alley, the dark side of the Wizarding World. Hopefully you guys can see okay. This camera is actually usually pretty good in low lighting. I feel like this is one of the best themed areas in any of the parks. It really does feel very dark, very creepy. It's is really awesome. And as we head through here, we can go into Borgin & Burke's. They tend to have some very odd items in here. And you do find some items in here which you don't actually see anywhere else in Diagon Alley. And they have this Deathly Hallows purse and this little kind of clear one, which is $32. And you can also get a specific Borgin & Burke's hoodie here. This is actually really, really beautiful as well. I just don't normally wear grey, but I love that. Okay, I've decided I'm going to get this for kind of loungewear slash workwear, which for me, because I work from home, is the same thing. I absolutely love this, and this is the back. So it says, after all this time, and on the front it has always, and then it has the little tree, obviously, and the two of them. I love this. It's one of my favourite moments in the film. Snape is just the best. I'm getting it. I love this. And Gilderoy Lockhart is here being extra, as always. I think the dragon's just about to do his thing. I felt that heat from here. Doesn't look as if it's dark yet, but it virtually is. The lights are all starting to come on, and it's really nice to finally get to spend some time here in Diagon Alley when it's night time, because like I said, we've never really done that before. And by the way, for this attraction, I did say I wasn't sure whether there's a single rider, and there is, so I went through that entrance. Like I said earlier, in this area, a lot of the time people are just wandering and taking everything in because it's so immersive. People are not necessarily riding the attraction or in the ice cream place or eating or whatever. People are just walking around, taking photos, so it can seem deceptively busy when actually things that you can do here are not all that bad. But I think we're going to start heading out of here and go and get a coffee. I definitely need to stay awake. I did not sleep very well last night and I'm feeling it now. And we might have time to maybe go on one other attraction, maybe Simpsons or Transformers or something. One last look at Diagon Alley. It really never gets old coming to this park, and especially this part of it. I absolutely love this so much. I love Hogsmeade as well, but Diagon Alley is by far my favourite part of any of the Universal parks. Okay, we're heading over to Starbucks, and I think, to be honest, by the time we get this coffee, that is probably going to be it for today, because the park is about 20 minutes from closing. The whole day has just completely got away from me today. I'm just straying into some blue and red lighting, so just ignore that. The whole day's just got away from me. It's gone so quickly, and it's been quite busy, as I said, so it's been hard to kind of get around and do everything. So although we haven't done attractions today really, other than obviously riding the Gringotts ride, it's been really enjoyable. I love spending time in the Wizarding World, and it's just been nice being back at Universal. And I do actually get some backlash in these vlogs sometimes from people who do the parks very, very differently to how I do. And they kind of come along and comment and say, oh my gosh, you didn't do anything, you didn't ride anything, how do you go to a theme park and not ride anything? For me, I come here quite often. This is my 22nd trip to Orlando, to Disney World and Universal. So for me, if I come here and have a day where I just wander around the Wizarding World, it really doesn't bother me in the slightest, because I know I can come back and do the attractions. I've done them all loads of times before. So yeah, it's just very, very different, and everybody does the parks differently. So I realise for some of you, you might think, how do you not ride any rides? But for me, that's not always the priority, and today I just loved being back in the Wizarding World. I don't think we're going to be able to get to it, so we'll have the Starbucks on the way out of City Walk, because there's another one there. I'm genuinely uncertain of how to exit the park during this Mardi Gras parade. I think I might just have to wait. And also, if you are walking around, be aware of stray beads, because these hit me in the head as I was walking past. Obviously it didn't hurt, it was fine. But yeah, I'm not actually sure if I can really exit or get out of here during this, so I might just have to wait, I think. Yep, I'm officially stuck. I've got as far as I can. I'm here by Mel's Drive-In. I was trying to squeeze through like these people are here. It is just absolute madness. I don't think I can do it.
Moments later.
So the parade is finished. Everyone is swarming towards the exit, so I'm just going to sit here for a second, wait for people to disperse, and then I will exit. Most people have now headed for the exit, so we can depart without it being too crazy. And as you can see, there's a lot of cleanup to be done. Somebody is vacuuming up all of the confetti. There's probably beads everywhere. Although from what I've seen, people are going around looking for beads, so they probably don't have too much of a job with that, but the confetti, there is a lot of that everywhere. And just like Hollywood Studios, they also have a 5 and dime here at Universal. I see some Mardi Gras stuff and some Bourne Stuntacular stuff in there. And one other thing I was going to do before I leave is Voodoo Donut, but this is the line, and we're not going to do that. So we do love you, Voodoo Donut, but we can definitely do that next time. I'm here at Starbucks at the exit of City Walk, having my coffee that you guys chose for me, which is the chocolate almond milk shaken espresso. I did add a little bit of vanilla to it because Kate had this earlier in the trip and it was a little strong for me. It's perfect with the vanilla. And there is what seems to be an endless stream of people leaving the park. I'm waiting for it to quieten down. So I've waited it out for quite some time. It's about 8:20 now and the park closed at 7. There's still loads of people leaving, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave. I checked on Uber and surge pricing is not happening because that's what I was worried about with Uber. If everybody is trying to use it at the same time and there's a high demand, it gets really expensive. But I've just checked and it's pretty much the average. So I'm gonna head out now and go and get my Uber. And the only other thing I didn't manage to do today, I was planning on going across to Hard Rock Hotel and Royal Pacific to have a little look around. But I just ran out of time. I did not have enough time today. But I'm gonna end this vlog here because I need to get back to Saratoga Springs and get myself ready for my final day in the parks tomorrow, which is gonna be Magic Kingdom in the morning and Epcot in the evening. I'm very excited to spend my last day in those two parks. And if you enjoyed this vlog, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you like seeing Universal vlogs, if you want me to do more of this on upcoming trips, because I definitely can do that. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to make sure you're always notified when I upload videos and when I go live. As always, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, subscribing, following on Instagram. Everything that you do, I really appreciate it so much. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!